Hi guys, welcome to another video. Speddy here. So I am doing a quick run through of Maisara Caverns 12 as on my Mage, Arcane. Here are the talents that I'm using. I am going for the Arcane Orb Machine Gun build, I like to call it, and because it just shoots out so many Arcane Orbs, which you should see very shortly. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So guys, we're just getting into the start of the dungeon here, so and the first pull. Typically with a first pull you want to go big, get your cooldowns going, get the Bloodlust going. Bloodlust or Time Warp. Heroism, of course, is a very powerful cooldown, increases your haste by 40%. So you just want to get it on as the rip as quick as possible here. So pop it, straight into an Arcane Surge, straight into the Touch of the Magi. You pick the highest health target so it doesn't die as fast, and then you just keep going, going, and going. Obviously, my main sort of generator for salvo is going to be orbs, and then obviously when you get to 20 salvo, you pop barrage then just to spend it. Because when you obviously spend it, you get bigger chance of generating more orbs, as you can see here. Obviously spells on the screen, so you can have a quick look as well. This big elephant guy does a tank hit, tank buster, puts a bit of a nasty bleed on them, and also does a AoE interrupting roar here. So he's got to watch out for that as well. But this main first part of the dungeon, obviously as you can see at the top there, he says prisoners freed. You want to free 8 prisoners. Once you've done that, the boss will then said a bit of dialogue, and it will begin its, not begin, but you can then go and fight the boss there. So, as you can see here, 3 more targets, just popping my Arcane Orbs, barrages, just basically trying to do as much damage as I possibly can here. And we go to the right, because just in front of us here, there's going to be a house, just up ahead. And in that house, you will see a cooking pot. It gives you a buff, which is 3% leech, and damage from area effect is reduced by 3%. So it can be quite important, especially in the higher keys when you go to like 15, 16s. The damage from AoEs can just one-shot you straight away. So you want to make sure you know that you try and get as many of these. Well, some dungeons don't have them, but this one does. So you get as much as possible. So you see there, I think I had 20 salvo, surge, barrage, touch the Magi's mid-flight, because then as soon as the barrage hits, the touch of the Magi is on the target, so you get a bit of extra damage here, and just do the slam the rotation through. So as you can see, quite a bit of damage from our group here so far. Monks are very strong right now. Mages are very strong. Frost is good. Fire is good. Arcane's good. Frost is definitely the best of the 3. Just because this didn't get hit with any nerfs recently. But I enjoy playing all 3 specs right now, so I'll depend on how I feel, you know. But I'll make sure to do POV videos of all the specs for you guys, so you can see what each one does here. So another elephant guy, so definitely roll. That's the AoE interrupt, and I of course get interrupted because I'm trying to greed casts, and as you can see I flick my mouse around because I was pretty upset. So we live and learn though. Get a nice interrupt out there. And obviously I think it is a tank buster here. There you go, here's the tank buster. Rendering Gore, I think it's called. Puts a bleed on the target. I'll see if I can try and find the abilities for you, and if I do I'll put them on screen here. But I'll have to see if I can find them. So we're going into the house here now, and so that who'll be stealing my kill, that's obviously when you hit 4. When you hit 8, he will obviously do another dialogue. So as you can see here, surge, straight into a touch the Magi's, barrage, checking out the orbs, doing crazy amount of orbs right now. I absolutely love the way this spec looks graphically. I think it looks beautiful to show the machine gun orbs. Only issue is with the orbs, if you're not pointing the right way, you're gonna chuck an orb in the wrong direction. You might pull something by accident, which might wipe the entire group. So you just gotta be careful, especially on the higher keys where you're aiming, but where you're shooting really, because obviously it goes out in the direction you're facing. All right. So here we go. We get the buff here. I should highlight it for you there, as you can see. Leech 3%, damage taken by area effect by 3%. Obviously leech quite important as well in the higher keys, because you leech a bit of health back, which can obviously, if there's a nearly one-shot mechanic, that bit of leech can keep you alive. And obviously area effect again, higher keys, it can prove life or death really, and that 3% can mean a wipe or not. So we're about, I think it's 2 trash packs, maybe 3 now before the boss, and also we'll be we'll be hitting the first boss very shortly. Right then, guys. So we are just dropping down to the boss here. Obviously, it's a council boss, So you got Murojin and you got Necrax, and we should have Lust roughly about halfway into the fight here. So each of the bosses do their own set of mechanics. Now you're going to see here Flanking Spear and Open Wound. So Flanking Spear, he jumps away, is a Murojin mechanic, so he jumps away, chucks a spear and then leaves a bleed on the tank. And it chucks out a Freezing Trap as well. With the freezing traps, if you run into them, it will just encase you for 8 seconds. And then you've got Necrax mechanics, Quillstorm. So as you saw there, he jumps to a position and he has a circle around him. Just jump into the circle after the quills go out, and that's a safe zone. And as you saw there, Barrage. With the Barrage, Murojin will target a random person, shoot them for a few seconds, and then put a poison dot on them. And then with Necrax, you will have Carrion Swoop. So Carrion Swoop means he targets a player and then he'll charge at them to stop taking damage, just run into an ice trap. When he runs into it or charges at it, he gets stunned for 5 seconds. And when the ice traps are popped or they just run out, they put down a icy zone there, as you can see. And I'm just taking a bit of damage here. So that's the Barrage with obviously the poison after it, and this is now the Carrion Swoop as well here. He does also another mechanic. Necrax does Infected Quinlans or something like that. It is. Just chucks out. Here it is. It's Infected Pinions. Just chucks out a disease onto the group, just so it can be dispelled or just heal it. All right. So, as you can see here, we're just just controlling the fight here. Not particularly difficult. Obviously, another Fetid Quillstorm here. See the circle, and now you just run in after the quills come out. Both of the targets have to die at the same time, or roughly the same time, because otherwise, Murojin will revive Necrax, or Necrax will enrage. So you would rather, to be honest, Murojin die instead of Necrax, because otherwise you can survive the enrage by just pumping out healing. But then if he gets off the res, it's a bit spicy. So as you see, we pop the Lust of the Air towards the middle of the fight here. Just put on my cooldowns again, mini cooldowns, just to get the boss dead here. And that's the first boss dead now. Apologising to the team because I did mess up with my alter time when I went super low, and caused the healer probably to panic a little bit, because what alter time does, it takes a snapshot of your health at the time. So if you're 100%, it'll be 100%, if you're 50, it'll be a 50, and then after a few seconds you will then TP back to the same position that you were, and you will then go back to the health at that time. So it's a very good defensive tool, because if you're super high health and you know an AoE damage coming out you can't avoid, you pop all the time, let it go off, bang, pop it back again, and you go straight back to 100% HP. As you saw in that fight there, I was at 50, popped it, went back up to 100, ran out, back to 50, healer panicked, I panicked, but it's all good here. So we're just coming up to the mini boss here now, guys. So it's Rock Zal. He don't actually know what he does, except the one mechanic, I guess, where he will just pick a random person and then chuck them into Death Grasp there, as you can see there. Yeah, so Death Grasp. So he picks a random person and you basically have to escape it, so it's by DPS it down. But you can also use movement abilities. I believe Blink works, I know Invis works, Tiger's Lust, Freedom, stuff like that. So you can obviously use that to escape, and obviously the other ability, the Invoke Shadow, just chucks looks like just a random circle on the ground and just pulls you into it. So you just have to dodge it. And obviously it's just a mini boss, you know, so nothing really much there. Once he's dead, it opens up the doorway behind him, so you can now progress to the next, well, it's the final part of the dungeon, really. So, obviously, we're probably going to clear this room just to get the percentage, and make sure we don't miss anything, really, towards the end here. So guys, so we're just doing a bit of trash here. One thing to note as well is I've taken a quick screenshot and put in the middle of the screen there. You'll see the mobs at the top left where some of them missing half their health. So they have a magic buff on them which can be spell stolen or spell steal with a mage. What that means is obviously you dispel it off them and you take it for yourself. But when it's spell stolen, it does a massive, not massive, but it does a lot of damage. So if you're a blood elf, for example, you can obviously arcane torrent it off. Priests can possibly master spell it. Obviously mages can spell steal it, but you don't want to do all of them at the same time because it will one-shot the group. Happened to me yesterday, it was really funny. So yeah, you definitely don't want to do more than one here. So see, I did spell stole there, took it off him, and then it did a bit of damage, and then it just, you can do it obviously though if the dupes topped up one at a time. It will just obviously help out on that trash, especially at the higher levels.
we can save. I need to get you confront her. I gonna release all the fools I can find. My man is right.
So guys, we're just coming up to the second boss of the dungeon now for Daza. We're not going to put Bloodlust here, even though it's ready. We want to keep it for the last boss so we can have the damage amp. Obviously I'll go into a bit of that in the future there. So it does a tank sort of buster, I guess we're going to call that. It's called Drain Soul. As you can see, does a bit of damage to the tank, and obviously does puts a bit of a healing absorb on them as well. Now, not many mechanics in this fight, to be honest. There are some nasty ones to watch out for. So you got your rest phantoms here. So what that does, just spawns four guys, I guess, and you get targeted with one. What you have to do is combine two of them to make them pop each other. So you don't want to do all at the same time, because when you pop two, it does a debuff across the party. So you just sort of stagger it out there. And as you saw there as well, she did like a frontal breath. Can be pretty nasty, so you just want to make sure you're not in that as well. Especially when you've got the phantoms going, can get yourself into some pretty predicaments there. So we've got the phantoms here again. Just going to slowly drag them towards each other. So you want to have two of them done straight away. And obviously then you get the next two to 3 seconds after the debuff goes. And obviously the frontal always happens at the same time. So this is obviously one of the other mechanics. She jumps into the middle, summons all these orbs. I got just burst down the shield, interrupt it, and then that's it done. And that's just the fight rinsed and repeated.
Make them suffer. It's not ready yet. I gonna poison your soul. You gonna be tormented from beyond the grave. Andakatal no shada. Kezuro namrakai. Negide. Negide. Accomplish nothing. Rakdu. Still rise.
So guys, that's the second boss dead there now. All we have left is just a bit of a bridge
I will keep them.
with some mobs. Some more of those mobs with the magic buff on them. Can obviously Arcane Torrent that, but I'm not going to do that, because obviously that will just wipe the group. Can spell steal a couple, but I'm popping my CDs here, so we're just going to blast through it anyway. As you can see, they're just going down so fast. The tank, I believe, yep, the tank goes down right now, but the respawn is just behind us. There's not real time lost there. Thankfully the tank can get back up, straight back into the pack and get aggro again, and obviously we continue on with the key. One thing with obviously this bridge as well, guys, you will see some as you can see, some balls there just coming along the bridge. That's being spawned by one mob that's just at the end of the bridge, so you will see in very shortly. You want to avoid those balls as much as possible. Does a lot of damage, you don't want to be anywhere near those. So the safest route is to walk along the edge, obviously the edge of the bridge, and that means that you're avoiding any other ads, and you're avoiding all of the stuff in the middle there. So guys, we're just coming to the end of the dungeon here now. So we got this this guy is banging the drums a bit, so we need obviously to stop that. That's what's causing obviously the fists to come down there, as you saw as we came up. While he hit the drum, obviously he does a bit of AoE damage here. But this is the final boss here, guys. Rack Tool. Couple of mechanics which I'll go through as they pop up here. We're not going to rip Lust off the pull because we want it for the damage amp, which comes in the intermission, I guess. So you got Spirit Breaker here. That's just a tank AoE. Sorry, tank AoE, but a tank buster. Chucks out obviously some volatile essence, which as you can see little circles on the ground. And now we got Crush Souls. What that does is you'll target 3 random players, jump at them, and you'll leave down a totem here. The totems then will just pull in a random player and just deal damage. Now you have to make sure the totems are dead, otherwise you'll do something called Shatter Totem, which will do some group-wide AoE damage here, and obviously that will just most likely wipe the group at the obviously higher levels. The monk dies here. I'm not sure what happened. I think he might got caught, so we got a CR for him, but we're waiting for the totems to happen. Once after that, he'll res, he'll come back and obviously slap the totems on a bit here. Got totems again, Spirit Breaker on the tank. We're just trying to control the room. And I forgot to mention with the Spirit Breaker, which you should see obviously the ability, does leave some decay on the floor there, as you can see. Now we're going into the intermission here. So Soul Rending Roar, he just sort of knocks your soul away and pushes you to the start of the platform here. Now while you're in the platform, you will get a stacking debuff on you, Withering Soul, but you'll also get a stacking buff for each of these guys that you interrupt. Don't know why we didn't interrupt that one. Didn't have anything to do with myself. I used my spell, my counter spell, and obviously my knock up here. But we got Lust, 75%, 76% left the boss. A popping potion, trinkets, everything, and we're just gonna obviously go absolutely crazy here. Chucking Arcane Orbs, no machine gunning them out. And we're just absolutely rinsing this boss now. 40% done, just in that damage window. And we are just coming out of it again here. So rinse and repeat of phase 1. Nothing much more to do. Spirit Breaker, that's just going to leave obviously the goop on the floor. Dodge it. We've got totems coming up in a second here. Crush Souls, 3 totems. You stack them tightly, and just so that you know, they're easy to cleave down. For the cleave specs, myself included. And that is the fight, ladies and gentlemen. So, just finishing it off here. First 12 of the season done. Very happy. Decent time left, 3 minutes. Couple of deaths which could have possibly avoided there, but otherwise I was very happy with how I did. See you all in the next one.